What's going on? Hope you're doing good. My name is David the Crook and welcome to another video. Today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to break down a West Coast song for you. Pretty much what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to run down the plugin chain that I used to mix the song, kind of explain why I did the things that I did. That way you could pick up some tips and tricks, or you could kind of know how you want to mix your song. But before we get into that, I want to tell you to subscribe and drop a like. It really helps out the channel a lot. I have a song here called No Trust, No Love by Young Israel. I'll put the link to the full song down below in the description so you can check out the full song. I'm going to play it so you get a feel of the song, and then we'll break down the vocals.
They say it's all love. I can't break bread with no scrub. They will hate, now they see the come up. Still ain't felt no love. It's weight up on my shoulder, ain't enough. Hold that pressure on myself, cause I'm a diamond in the rough. Said we really get to tripping, if you tripping on my blood. Slide down with the extension, I'm a blipping for my cuz. Don't be ever try to mob by the said we not the one city coldest. No trust, no love. Yeah, some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely cause there ain't nobody snitching. I'ma thug it by myself and find out who gon' stick it with me. I'm the hottest out the 9, but most hated in my city. How you spend that? Money on the table, I'ma get it, then I flip that. I don't need a chain, I need a house, I'm a big man.
Damn. That's the hook and that's the verse right there, or half of the verse, and then you still got the other half of the verse, the hook again, and then verse 2 and hook. So check out the full song. Like I said, I'll put the link down below in the description. I'm gonna pretty much break down how I mix this song. I mixed it differently, like I mixed the hook different than how I mixed the vocals, but for the most part with West Coast music, it's gonna be more like the verse. So we're gonna break down the verse. So I'm gonna mute the ad-libs, mute the dubs, and then mute the hook. I recorded this song a little bit over a year ago, so a lot of my mixing has changed, as well as how I set up my templates has changed a lot. If you use Logic Pro X and you need some templates, whether you're recording, mixing, or mastering, and want some free Logic Pro X templates, down below in the description I have some free templates for you. If you want a sample template of this song here so you could practice mixing other people's vocals, preferably this song here, I will also put a link to get the sample template of this. It's pretty much just going to have the beat and the verse. That way you can start mixing other people's vocals and you can start getting better at mixing. First thing I did is get a nice clean dry recording. That's probably like step 1 of recording a dope ass song, preferably a West Coast song. They go hard. So I'm gonna play the vocals by itself so you could hear like the dryness, you could hear the thickness, the pretty much the presence of the vocal.
It's some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely cause there ain't nobody snitching. I'ma thug it by myself and find out who gon' stick it with me. I'm the hottest out the 9.
Alright, so first thing I do is I add a vocal automation. I like using Outlaw. Pretty much the first 3 plugins are what I call my stable go-to plugins. Like this is what I build the foundation of the vocals on. It's pretty much the vocal automation, a compressor, a de-esser, and then an EQ. And I always use the same 4 plugins. They're all by Waves, pretty much RVox, de-esser, SSL. I'll pretty much explain why I use those later on, but for the most part, every mix that I do, I always use those 4 plugins. So first one is vocal automation. I use Outlaw. This is a dope vocal automator that you could use.
It's some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy.
And then the mix, I keep it at 100 because I don't want it to sound too robotic, so I keep the mix at 50. That way 50% of the vocals has that automation and just adds like a nice balance between the rawness of the vocals as well as the automated vocal. From here, second go-to plugin I use is RVox. I think RVox works amazing just to bring out the presence of the vocal, just to get that vocal, just to cut through the mix and like right in your face.
It's some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50.
You know, like without it, you could tell the vocals like far back, but then when you put RVox on, it just brings out the vocal. And you don't really compress it that much. Like, I'm just using 3.5 compression.
Some cones and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely, cause there ain't nobody snitching. I'm a thug by myself.
Artvox just brings out that vocal right in the face. That's what you need. If you don't have Artvox, you can just use like a stock Logic Pro's compressor or any other third-party compressor. I just like using Artvox because it doesn't really add color to the vocals, and it just brings it right out. Next thing I do is I use a de-esser. The reason I like using a de-esser right now is because I'm gonna boost up the high end later on, so I want to tame some of the S's. I want to tame some of those like sibilances and some of those frequencies that are gonna hurt your ear. So I might as well just take care of it now, so when I boost it later, it just kind of sounds a lot smoother in the high end.
Some cones and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely, cause there ain't nobody snitching. I'm a thug by myself and find out who gon' stick it with me. I'm the hottest out the 9, but most hated in my city. How you spitting that? Money on the table, I'ma get it, then I flip that. I don't need it.
And I did this. The frequency cut is like around 3,000. I kind of just chose to do it here, even though it's a little bit more far down, like in the mids, than the higher, just because it just sounded right. Like, if I want to find it again, I'll probably just do it at 7K. So that takes out a little bit more of the S's, but for this song particular here, I did around 3,000.
With me, gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely, cause there ain't nobody snitching. I'm a thug by myself.
So the next plugin that I use is the Soundtoys Side EQ. I don't really use this EQ as much anymore. A year ago when I recorded this song, I was using this plugin heavy, especially this high end knob and then the drive.
Some cones and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it. Cones and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay.
Oof, that's fire. So with the side EQ, what I did is I added some drive, added some highness, and then I added some mid as well as some low. I don't really mix this way anymore, but the reason I did it this way is just because I want to emphasize and boost up certain frequencies right now before I cut, but now I cut before I boost. So I mean, it don't really matter, I guess, for the most part, but for this particular song, I use the side EQ. I like the drive and I like the highness of this plugin. I think this is one of the reasons why I gravitate towards this plugin a lot, is just for that high knob and for the drive. From here, what I'm gonna do now that I boosted those frequencies, I'm gonna do a little bit of cuts. So pretty much I'm gonna cut out some low end, boost a little bit more of the high end, and then cut out some of like the low mids. And I'm gonna be using the SSL E channel. This plugin works amazing on vocals, or pretty much on everything, if I'm being completely honest, like guitars, vocals, pianos, anything you record. This plugin right here will just make it sound so good, and you can always just tweak it and shape the vocals how you want it. That's kind of the reason I use this plugin right here.
Some cones and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely, cause there ain't nobody snitching. I'm a thug by myself and find out who gon' stick it with me. I'm the hottest out the 9, but most hated in my city. How you spitting that? Money on the table, I'ma get it, then I flip that. I don't need a chain, I need a house, I'm a big man. Give a chunk to my fam and cop a piece of land. If a label want young.
What I'm doing to this vocal right here is I cut out some low, cut out about 109 hertz. So usually when you're mixing West Coast music, you want to cut out the low end. They say cut out at least 100. You could cut out more. It honestly all just depends on the type of tone of the vocal, how the vocals sound. Every song is going to be different for the most part, but a general rule is just at least cut out 100 hertz. I cut out 109. I think on the original song I cut out a little bit more, as well as I cut out some high end. And this is kind of like untraditional to do. You kind of want, in a lot of rap songs, a lot of high end, but for this song, because it's like West Coast music, I kind of want to add that closed feel to it. So cutting out a little bit of the high end to make the vocals feel like a little bit darker. And then what I did from there is I boosted the 16K, just because this is where you're going to get that crispiness, that presence of the vocal. After I boosted up that high end, I boosted the mid high at around 6K, because this is where you're going to get some of that presence, kind of get some of that mid high frequencies to boost up, just to really feel some of those words that he says. And then I cut out at around 300 hertz, just where you get that boxiness. So if I were to boost it here,
some goons and gorilla in the city, every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all.
So I'll just cut out that boxiness, because it kind of ruins the song. I want the vocals to be smooth, but as well as thick too. So later on in the vocal chain, I'm gonna make the vocals more thicker, but for the meantime right now, I'm just cutting out those low end frequencies that I don't want right now. I'm also adding just a little bit of compression. If you notice this yellow light where the compression is, it just lights up a little bit.
Some goons and gorilla in the city, every man for themselves, but I keep a.
And that's just to add a little bit more compression. I'm not trying to add like hella compression with this plugin. I'm gonna add more compressors later on, but for the most part with the SSLE channel, I just add a little bit of compression.
Some goons and gorilla in the city, every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely cause
then from here, what I use is a pull tag. With the pull tag, what I did is I boosted up the 100 hertz. So in the last plugin, I cut out 109 hertz, but with this plugin, I'm boosting the 100 hertz. That way it just adds like a dope balance of the low end, and it just adds that thickness to it. So if I'm gonna boost the 100 hertz like dramatically, it's gonna sound like this.
Some goons and gorilla in the city, every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to.
And then I boosted the 12K instead of the 16K, because the 12K is gonna add just that crispiness, that nice high end to it.
Some goons and gorilla in the city, every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely cause there ain't nobody snitching. I'ma thug it by myself and find out who gon'
That sounds so good. It's so clean, so smooth, just with what I got right now. And as you could tell, I use a lot of wave plugins. I use a lot of wave plugins just because they're affordable, they're pretty cheap, they get the job done. Like this Pull Tech emulation, super fire on vocals, and I pretty much just use it for everything. So if you're looking into purchasing some wave plugins, down below in the description I have a discount link for you. So you pretty much click the link, get the plugins you want at a discounted rate, totally affordable, pretty much exactly what you need. Wave plugins. I pretty much mix this whole song off wave plugins. Next plugin I'm gonna be using is the F6 by Waves. Like I said, the techniques that I used to mix this song is a lot different than I use now, just because there's been a year difference. So like hella songs in between that pretty much changes the way that I mix. So this is kind of how I mixed a year ago. There's nothing wrong with it. The fundamentals are still there of what I did, except now I just do it a little bit different. With the F6, what I did is I cut out some more low end, but here I cut out 130, and then I cut out around 400 hertz with the dynamic EQ, and then I boosted up some high end.
Some goons and gorilla in the city, every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blick.
So if turning it off and turning it on, if you're hearing like on speakers or headphones and you have something that translates very clear, not like on your phone or something, you'll hear that just that subtle smoothness of the vocals that just kind of blends into the beat pretty much, and that comes with compressing it. So with the regular EQ, if I were to cut out this 390, like that's it, it's gone. But when you add like a dynamic EQ like this, it compresses those frequencies, so it doesn't necessarily cut them out, it just compresses them in certain words or in certain parts. It's not just always gone.
Some goons and gorilla in the city, every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut him off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my lonely cause then ain't nobody snitching. I'ma thug it by myself and find out who gon' stick it with me. I'm the hottest out the 9, but most hated in my city. How you spin that? Money on the table, I'ma get it, then I flip that. I don't need a chain, I need a house, I'm a big man. Give a chunk to my fam and cop a piece of land. If a label want Young Israel, I'ma need 100 grand, that's a buck. Hold off the rollie, let me run it up,
And then this compressor is a stock Logic Pro compressor. It's probably like my favorite one. It's a Studio FET. This mimics one of like the CLA compressors. What was it, like 18 something, 11, 20 something. I don't know. The black one. It mimics this one. Pretty much sounds exactly the same. So instead of buying like a third-party compressor, if you're using Logic, you could use this one. You could use this one right here, and it's gonna sound exactly like if you were to pay for one. No one's really going to tell the difference, only probably you. But for the most part with this compressor, what I did, just added a 2-to-1 ratio, no makeup gain, auto gain off, distortion on soft, and then the attack on the release on auto.
Some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off.
So with the compressor, I'm not getting a lot of compression. Most of the compression is just on like those emphasis words. So when he says something gone, because he emphasized gone, that's where like the compressor hits more. But for the most part, throughout the vocals, throughout the track when he's rapping, there's not that much compression going on. If you're looking into getting some plugins and you don't have the money to like invest in third-party plugins, for example like Wave plugins, Soundcloud plugins, pretty much some of these plugins that I use here that you have to pay, I did create an ebook for you called the 100+ free plugins. Pretty much I listed down 100+ free plugins that you could get today with the downloadable link. You just pretty much open up the ebook, click the plugin that you want, and it takes you straight to the downloadable page. We just download it. It has everything from compressors, EQs, effects, reverbs, everything, like literally everything that you need to be able to mix and master any song that you get your hands on. You'll find that plugin within there. Not only do you get free plugins that don't add any color to your sound, but you also get a lot of plugins that emulate hardware that a lot of people pay money to get that sound, and you'll pretty much be able to get it for free. So check out the link. Use the discount code CROOK for the first 15 people who purchase the ebook. It's called the 100+ free plugins.
Some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me.
Then after that compression, I use a CLA 2A. This compressor works amazing on vocals just to smooth out that high end. It just adds like a nice color, even if you don't get a lot of compression. How I am doing it with that, it doesn't have a lot of compression, you still get that nice color, you can still get that nice sound on the vocals. On that ebook that I made for you, 100+ free vocals, 100+ free plugins, you get like a plugin emulation that sounds exactly like this, probably even just a little bit better, for free. I paid for this one. I'm pretty much showing you how to get it for free. From here, I added some auto tune. I don't really think I added auto tune on the vocals. I think I just added it onto the hook, so I'm just gonna leave it off. Usually for West Coast music, you don't really add auto tune. You could, it just depends on the style. For the most part, I think for this song we didn't add it just because we wanted more rapping effect, but this is how it sounds with it on.
Some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off.
And then I use sibilants, pretty much another de-esser, just to tame those S's, tame those frequencies that we boosted using the EQs.
Some goons and gorilla in the city.
You know, as you could tell, there's a lot of them, so it's different from a regular de-esser, just because with this, the frequencies we're de-essing are the 3000. With sibilants, it pretty much chooses all the frequency ranges that specifically hurt a listener's ear. That's why I like using sibilants. It just works so good.
And gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves. Some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is.
And then from here, S1 imager, just to widen up the vocals. I don't want it to be like right in the center. I kind of want to just widen it up, just add like a little bit more, make the vocals feel a little bit bigger. This is more for like headphones than anything, because if you're using speakers, you're not really going to tell the difference. If you're using a phone, you probably can't even tell at all. But this is for the people who use headphones and stuff. You kind of want to think about them too. From here, what you want to do, and what I did next, is added a preamp. I use Soundcloud's Little Radiator. This is probably like my favorite preamp. I just added a little bit just because the vocals are already pretty much loud. This is just going to add a little bit more loudness and just add a little bit of grittiness onto the vocals.
It's some goons and gorilla in the city. Every man for themselves, but I keep a couple with me. My trust is all gone, so I keep it in the blicky. Told them stay 100 with me, they could barely keep it 50. Had to cut them off, put the knife inside the jiffy. I've been riding by my...
Alright, we're going to start working on the second verse, just because the first one's kind of like, I got tired of hearing it. So the delay and the reverb, we're going to do the second verse. Pretty much preamp. From there, I bust some delay. Like I said, if you need some Logic Pro X templates, so you don't have to do all the routing, like pretty much routing it from bus 10 onto the vocals, and then bus 11, bus 12, bus 13, and then busting all that to a submix or the all vox, and from all vox to the submix. If you don't want to worry about doing any of that, or you just really don't care, hit the link down below. I got some free templates for you.
When I step it, or I don't feel like myself. Told my brother play your pockets, everybody want this wealth. False threats and false claims, they don't really mean a thing. Be a man.
Now, with West Coast music, you don't really add a lot of delay. So I add very, very subtle delay. I'm using H delay. I have a 1/8 delay. Ping pong effect. I have some lows cut out. The highs are all there, but I'm just going to cut some out because it sounds better now. And I didn't know that a year ago, so I'm going to cut them out, sound a little bit better. And then that runs into a side chain to the vocals.
When I step it, or I don't feel like myself. Told my brother play your pockets, everybody want this wealth. False threats and false claims, they don't really mean a thing. Be a man before a thug, they gon' leave you in the rain. Said that's real, all facts, no cap. This is deeper than some fame, this is deeper than some rap. In the city where I'm from, a hat is not just a hat. Cause they'll pull up on you broad, damn, really let it blast, that's for real. This feeling in my heart to make a youngin' wanna kill. They done try to take my outside, how's a kid supposed to feel?
So when I turn off the music, you kind of hear the delay a lot more, but for the most part, you just want it very, very subtle in the background. But I can't tell you to do it like that because it depends on the song. You feel me? Like on some songs, you might add more delay. For this song in particular, just because he's rapping a lot faster, I put it more in the background, and I just wanted to come out like this part right here where there's a pause.
Like, what's real? Can you tell me what?
You feel me? Like where it says what's real, like I kind of want the delay. I'll add more.
What's real? Can you tell?
You get me? Like what's real, and then that delay comes in. But you just gotta blend it in right. For the most part, I'm just gonna take it off. And then from here, you want to work on the reverb. I can't tell you what reverb to use. It all depends on the vibe of the beat. Not really. Well, I guess the song too, but usually the beat is what kind of dictates what reverb you're gonna use, whether you're gonna use like a hall, a room, a chamber, a plate, space, ambience, whatever you're gonna use. For this particular song here, I used a plate, a large. I think I added a little bit of pre-delay and then a little bit of compression, took out some highs, kept the mids, took out some lows, and then I just blended it into the pretty much the vibe of the song.
When I step it, or I don't feel like myself. Told my brother play your pockets, everybody want this wealth. False threats and false claims, they don't really mean a thing. Be a man before a thug, they gon' leave you in the rain. Said that's real, all facts, no cap. This is deeper than some fame, this is deeper than some rap. In the city where I'm from, a hat is not just.
And then the amount of reverb you want to add kind of depends also. I used to add a lot of reverb back then. Now I kind of just subtle it into the song, I guess, for the most part. Usually for West Coast beats, they don't really have a lot of reverb. The reverb's more like in the dubs and the ad-libs. But usually the main vocal, especially like a rapping song like this, the reverb is very subtle. It just kind of blends everything together. And then I use 2 reverbs. The second reverb I use for this song is, what is it? The Reverb Plate 1. I don't have the plugin no more. My computer messed up and stuff, so like I I haven't downloaded all of my plugins yet, but we're not going to worry about that. This one plugin right here works amazing. If you want me to mix and master one of your songs, shoot me a message on Instagram or an email. Just message me mixing. I'll get back to you. And before you hop off, I want to tell you that when it comes to recording a good song, like getting a song that sounds like this or even better, whatever you consider good, I guess, you want to make sure you have a good, nice, dry recording. And that's probably like the first step to getting a good song, is making sure that it's not recorded too loud or too soft. You don't have any background noise. Like, I'm pretty sure you could probably hear the train outside. Like, if you record a song and you hear like that crap of the whole song is gonna like mess up your song. So you want to make sure it's nice and dry. That's why I wrote an ebook called Recording Pro Vocals. It's a step-by-step process of how I take you, literally step-by-step, guiding you how to record professional quality vocals anywhere you are, whether you're in like a home studio, a garage, a shack, a car, living room, a bedroom, pretty much wherever you decide to record the song, as long as you have the basic equipment, which I tell you what equipment you need. I'll show you exactly how to set up your mic, how to maximize your DAW, your computer, your laptop, whatever you're using, to get the most out of the song. If you're interested on that, down below in the description, I have a link for you. You could also mix it in a bundle, getting both ebooks, Recording Pro Vocals, as well as 100 plus free plugins. That way you know exactly how to record professional quality vocals wherever you are, and you have the necessary tools to be able to mix and master that. I made a bundle for you down below in the description. I put both ebooks together so you could download them both at the same time. Check out the description. The description pretty much has everything you need to be able to record, mix, and master, as well as produce music. Whatever you're looking for, both ebooks. If you're an artist and you're looking for some West Coast beats or some trap beats or hip hop beats, I do have a beat store where you can pretty much look through, find the beats you like. I have a special going on, buy two, get one free, as well as you get a special discount if you purchase some beats. That way I could mix your song also. If you have any questions, reach out to me. This is pretty much the song right there, just pretty much breaking down the main vocals of this West Coast song. Like I said, if you want me to mix your song, hit me up down below. Pretty much I'll link everything you need. If you want to know what I'm smoking on, I've been smoking throughout the episode. I'm smoking on Delta 8. If you don't know what this is, it's pretty much legal weed. So it's THC, but federally legal. You got to be 21 in order to buy it, but you just pretty much buy it, ships it to your house, you signed for it. Pretty much legal throughout the US except in a couple states, so look into it. I'll put a link to this particular Delta 8 that I'm smoking. This is by one of my homies that I met. Honestly, it's fire. I've been smoking it for like the last 6 months. No problems. Works amazing. Helps me get creative. Helps me flow. And I get a lot of things done. So Delta 8, ebooks, plugins, everything you need to be able to create music here on this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, drop a comment. I like reading those comments. Get in touch. Shoot me a message on what you want to learn or how I could go more in depth in certain areas. That's pretty much it. My name's David the Crook. Peace.